Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Let's go back to 1982. We were last playing Track Attack on both the Apple II and the Atari home computer. Let's see what our next title is. Oh, that sound means it's time for another Star Trek variant. This brings our total to 22 Star Trek games with Trek on the Commodore 64. Let's check it out. Just Trek, very, very simple. It's also known as Super Trek, and all we have for this one, since it's so rare, is just some homemade boxes because there's not a real one that we could dig up. But we do have an ad that you can see in magazines for the time. Commanding the bridge of your starship, you explore the galaxy, fending off the Klingon invasion with your phasers and photon torpedoes, at the same time conserving your limited time and energy. In other words, like the other 22 games we played for Star Trek. Only 15 bucks, it says right here. So that's all we have for this one. Let's pop it and play some Trek. At some time in September 1982, this is by Bruce Robinson, published by Victory Software Corporation. Oh man, it's the Commodore 64 in its infancy. It's the very beginning games, and a few of these are lots of hit and misses because they just haven't got the footing yet. But we know that this computer is going to be insanely good. So let's start off with what level we want to play on. We're not going to play too long. Let's do level 2, and then we begin with, yep, it looks familiar. We got scanners, some menu system to choose from. Oh, look, it has the galactic map. Wow, and it's doing everything in ASCII. We've already seen some Star Trek variants that have real graphics, not just this. So it's asking us what command we want. We can do warp, which direction we want to go. Oh yeah, so if you're familiar with Star Trek games, this one is doing it, but very bare bones. Let's do 200 power. We're not into conserving our power, but you would because you have to go around the galaxy. Oh, I think we're blocked from doing that direction, so can't do that. You can see in the top right, we have the galactic map, and then we have our short range scan in the top left. And then over in the bottom, you can see Klingons, how long we played, our total amount of energy, and then how many photon torpedoes we have. So this one is going to play like majority of other Star Trek games, almost even more bare bones, but this one allows you to blow up stars with photon torpedoes, and it even has random events like space storms, or maybe nebulas we can fly through. So that's all I'm going to show for Trek. All it is that screen that you're going to be seeing. When it comes to action, there's no other switching. It just stays on the E for Enterprise, and when you fire any phasers or photon torpedoes, there's no animation whatsoever. So because of that, we play better Star Trek variants. As far as official Star Trek games, there's only like a handful out there. There's still a lot more of these variants that we're going to be seeing. So I guess they have all the games you could play right now on the Commodore 64. It's considered still bad across everything that you'd be able to play on a home computer. Oh yeah, not very impressive. I see 2.5 to 3 from Errol and 2.5. I'm actually going to go lower because when you think of all the games you could be playing right now, this one wouldn't be high on the list. Yeah, Bartleman seeing 2, so I'm going to say 2 stars for Trek. Just Trek. We're not done with Star Trek variants. Let's see where we're going now. It's time to go to the United Kingdom and play on our Commodore VIC-20. This is Triad. I'm not familiar with Triad at all. Let's take a look at the box. Defend your base against the suicidal fleets of alien hover ships. Full high-res color graphics and superb sound. Don't believe what any of the boxes say on home computers. Everything is high-res nowadays. So you can use your joystick or keyboard control. Very, very nice. And you need an unexpanded VIC too, so you just got to pop it in and play. No memory required. Let's play some Triad. This is by Livewire Software at sometime in September 1982. Yes, I'm with you there, Curtis. There's better ones out there and better games you could be playing on a home computer. That's true. If you like those kind of games, the strategy games, you need to love it. This loading of this game has 3 segments, so we are going to avoid all of those. At least we'll see the last third segment. Man, there's loading that goes to different levels, beyond anything that I thought for loading computer games. And Commodore VIC-20 is up there with the most loading or the longest loading time. All right, so we finally got the game in there after the 3 loading segments. It's time to push S to start, and we can use keyboard controls if you want to, but we have our joystick plugged in. Let's do this. Here is Triad. It is another Galaxian variant. For movement, it's just left, right, and fire. I only get 1 shot at a time. It's the most, I wouldn't say the most terribly sounding, but listen to that. What is going on? Now, I have my unexpanded VIC-20, no extra memory needed. Maybe we did need to put extra memory in this. But joking aside, this is every other gameplay I've seen for Triad, so it's not doing you any favors for your ears. The way the characters are displayed and the way this moves reminds me of the Galaxian variant we played on the Arcadia 2001 home console, but it's essentially a Galaxian. Move left, right, fire, and Triad, that's all it's doing. And this is the only screen you get. If we can even get through, yeah, we already died. Oh man. Yeah, a little bit flickery, but we've actually seen some worse flicker on the Commodore VIC-20. I really would like to know if there is anything past the first screen, so if we continue to shoot, does it give us anything else? Man, this is one you would lower the volume on your television down fast. This feels like I'm being tortured. We want you to play every single video game, including Triad. Oh man, yeah, I'm with you. This is bad. Gameplay wise though, it's not too bad. Like it's just the sound that brings it down. I mean, it's essentially a Galaxian style game. We played plenty of them. Up to this point, across all platforms, this one is our 69th Galaxian variant. And what I mean is it actually plays like Galaxian or similar to Galaxian. Not including the ones that are kind of like Galaxian. Oh, we actually changed the formations up. But yeah, the sound, look at yeah, I'm seeing the flicker now. It's so bad. Want to see if, oh man, yeah, it's raining down. You know what, I don't want to see the next screen. I've seen enough. That's enough Triad that we need, or anyone needs to see. So of all the games you could be playing right now, just know there's a lot of other Galaxian games out there, a lot of other ones you could be playing on the home computer. Yes, I'm sure parents really, really hated this one too. So I'm going to say the same. This one is a bad game. You could get used to it lowering the volume down, and you have to admit, with the amount of enemies on the screen and the ability for a Galaxian game to look like this isn't as bad as the other titles we've seen. Out of all the Galaxian games out there, there are worse ones out there and worse shooters out there. Yes. Yeah, I'm seeing 1.5 to 2, mostly 2 stars. Yeah, Manly, barely tolerable. I'll still say 2. It is a bad game considering everything you'd be playing right now on a home computer. But you would find some enjoyment on your VIC-20. At least a few minutes of enjoyment before you turn the volume down. All right, let's see what our next title is. Man, we're going everywhere. We're now on the Atari. Thank you. I can go play some games on the home console. This is the release of Tron Deadly Discs ported to Atari. Let's check it out. Starting with the box. Yes. Oh, I love Tron. Tron's all about 1982. We played dozens and dozens. Actually, really not dozens. Of all the games we played so far, this is the 4th game involving Tron. We first played it in the arcade, and then after that was on the Intellivision, this game on the Intellivision, and then the handheld version of Tron. So this is only the 4th Tron game we played so far in 1982. We saw this last month on the Intellivision, and if you see this box, it's every M Network box, which essentially means all these lines are flashy and look really cool, but all you're getting is something that was already on the Intellivision brought to your Atari VCS. Let's flip it over the back. If you're excited for Tron, then you'll be excited to play. For one player only, you got 2 skill levels based on the Tron movie from Walt Disney. They have the teleport, one door and the other, to surprise the attackers, catch them off guard. You have disc-throwing warriors, which is like we played on the Intellivision. So cool. Let's see what other art we have for Tron. Deadly Discs, here now. If you saw it in the UK or in parts of Europe, it would have looked like this. Published by USA Telegames. Same symbol, just doesn't have the M Network look. M Network is essentially just Mattel. Oh man, there's the ad you would have seen in magazines for the time. Tron, taking over your Atari 2600 now. And it's showing also another one, Adventures of Tron, which we haven't seen yet. We will be seeing that soon. Oh, so cool. So pop this in. That's all the M Network cartridges look like on your Atari. With some crappy looking boxes. I love those. And then, of course, the Telegames one that you saw in Europe. I prefer, it looks cooler whenever you got the M Network cartridges with an example of the screenshot. We also have the manual to tell us how to play Deadly Disc, even though we've already played this on the Intellivision. It's one player only. The ultimate and futuristic adventure. Based on the motion picture from Walt Disney Productions, move Tron safely through the battle against warriors, attacking in waves of 3 against 1. Lethal saucers are the weapons, score points by knocking them out before they get to Tron. And then explains the game right here, breaks down the screen showing score, where your deadly disc is, the warriors, where Tron is, and then harmless disc, which is your disc. Standing in the center of the arena with walls on all sides, 3 doors open and 3 computer-controlled attackers enter the ring, and the contest is on. You can try a fast exit teleport if you want to. Fire back as many of them as possible. So the controls, they show again, make sure that red button is in the top left of your Atari VCS controller. That's how you're going to throw your discs. It's fired by depressing the red button, and then you can travel in all 8 directions. So fire your discs in all those directions, and they get recalled back, very similar to a boomerang. So it's essentially, or should be, the same gameplay we saw on the Intellivision. The difficulty switches can be used A and B. A is faster, B position is slower, easier to play. So that's nice they give you that option. And then to start the game, you can reset your console as usual. There's a maximum of 3 opponents on screen at one time. Keep in mind, Tron's disc is dangerous to the opponents only while it's traveling away from him. And they told us this on Intellivision too. It doesn't hurt anyone as it's coming back to you. It's like you're in the cyber dimension. I really enjoyed this on the Intellivision, so I'm curious to see what the port is like on the Atari VCS. So you get different scoring based on the different colors of enemies you can destroy. The Gold Warriors, I don't think I've ever seen them on the Atari VCS. And then they have some winning tips like they do on most of the manuals for the Atari. Very nice touch. Well done, Mattel. At least with the manual. So we have a few different versions. It's the one in Europe and the one in North America. We're going to pop in and play the first one from NTSC versions. This is by Jeff Rohn and Brett Stutz, published by Mattel Electronics at sometime in September 1982. So all the different game variations, if I push the game select switch, it doesn't have any. And I noticed the manual didn't have any either. Yeah, so this is just a reset and go game. There's no game variations. Very, very surprising. This one marks our 6th M-Network port to the Atari VCS. 6 games that already were on the Intellivision that you could play, and here it is. Let's push reset and go. Whoa, it's still kind of trippy seeing the Intellivision Running Man showing up on your Atari. But the control feels really, really similar. Move around, you can fire your disc in 8 different directions. It only attacks the enemies whenever it comes out of you instead of back. And you can also use the teleport doors and block them. Let's see if we can get one of the bigger enemies or the bridge to show up. Oh, and if they hit you, that's right, you change the color, showing your health, just like it was on the Intellivision. So besides the perspective, it's not giving us that cool 3D perspective. This moves and plays really well, like the Intellivision version. So a really good port Mattel did come into the Atari, at least the way it feels, control-wise. Animations, just like with the Intellivision guy, running around the screen. Sound effects are solid. Got to make sure your shot counts because you got to wait for it to come back. Oh, not looking good. And you notice the enemy types are going to be changing colors, getting progressively more and more difficult. Oh, it's coming. 8-way controls are still a lot of fun for shooters because this technically isn't a shooter in the sense that we've seen with other titles. So I think that's it. Yeah, after that, there is no other continue or lives. Once I'm dead, that's it. You do have the difficulty switches to go back and forth. We're going to go ahead and hit reset and go again. On the Intellivision, they had different speeds too, but this one only lets you go between speed A and speed B on the difficulty switch. So not as many options as the Intellivision, but I wouldn't fault it. The control and the gameplay is still very, very good. Yeah, and looks all right too. If I was going to be a stickler, I'd give the nod to the Intellivision version, the forced perspective, and because you had the ability to move with the disc on the Intellivision and fire using the numpad. Here, you have to do, kind of like when you play twin-stick shooters, you can't move and shoot on the Atari because this is only going one, you have one joystick. so I can't run away and fire at the same time. I got to do a quick little nod, did a little teleport there, where you have to still fire and then turn away. But on the Intellivision, you could move away and throw the disc the opposite direction as you're running. So right now I have to do like that. Do a tap away to come back. All right, so we're now on the white enemies, trying to get the best of us. So this is great. For a game you can play on a home console, gameplay is solid. Feels really fun, and moving around freely, even though it doesn't have the 3D, like, diagonal down perspective, it still feels like, well, we're almost dead. It still plays well. It doesn't feel like I'm hindered or missing something. Oh, that's a good point. You did have the block ability on the Intellivision, so it is missing a slight gameplay nod there. Yeah, you could hold down the button and go. So I'd still say the port's done very well. If I would, I'd give the nod to the Intellivision version, but just a smidge. But I could see myself, if this was 1982, playing this for a long time, having a really good time playing Tron Deadly Disc. So I'm going to say this is excellent. Of all the games you could play on a home console, the Intellivision, we give 4 stars as well. I'll still say 4. 4 stars for a console game. And if I could split hairs, then I'd say the Intellivision would be better. So I'm looking over the chat, see some 3.5, some 4 stars. And 4, yeah, that's true. If it had 2 players mainly, yeah, it would be a top-notch title, one of the best you could play. But I'll also say at 4 stars of all the games you could play on a home console right now. Tron is where it's at. And we're not done. Lots more Tron games to come. Or releases coming up. Let's see what's next after this commercial break.
This is the Defender home video game.
Yes.
Coming soon, only from Atari, and only for Atari systems.
Only coming to Atari. And there's more.
Only Atari makes the world's most popular home video games.
Like Breakout.
Only Space Invaders.
Oh, not really.
The only Asteroids.
No, not really either.
The only Pac-Man.
Wow. Did anyone ever have an audience like that whenever you're playing your Atari?
Soon, the only Defender. And the
I think the most I've ever had was 2 people watching me play. Oh my gosh, it's more people. There it is. That's classic. And one more. It can't be an Atari game without a song. Oh my gosh.
Watch this, I got this,
Probably her worst date ever.
Have you played Defender? It's the newest
No,
of the
no, we
smash hit
haven't.
home video games that just keep coming. Only from Atari.
She's better than me. Have you played Atari today?
Yes, we have played Atari today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Defender for the Atari VCS. Let's check it out. Starting with the box. Oh yes, classic. Now, if you look in the bottom left or bottom right of the box, it comes with the first action-packed comic book. Yes, Atari Force is included inside Defender. And you gotta admit, this artwork on the front of the box is another staple of Atari. So good. I mean, you've already played this in the arcade. You understand how it works. You're supposed to rescue people and not turn them into mutoids. And so you're supposed to be protecting those people down below. So well done. I mean, it's iconic. The front of this box is iconic. Let's flip it over the back. I kind of don't want to. Defend planet Earth against the aliens. Don't let alien landers kidnap humanoids and turn them into destructive mutants. Okay, they don't call them mutoids here. With an example of a screenshot. Yes. Oh man, yes. So much Defender that was played. So besides the box, we also have a reconstructed one, changing up for a different formula, like the gray style box. And then you can see here the ads you would have seen in magazines. A new space dimension from Atari. Man, so big. And then this would be the back of the box that you would have seen if you had the Sears version of Defender, which was also published by Sears. Sears is still doing publishing for Defender. Or for Atari, I mean. If you didn't have the Atari VCS, if you had the Sears Telegame release. Yeah, there we go. So 2 different flavors of that box. And then the cartridge you're going to pop into play on your Atari. Man, so many memories And this would be just, I think this is just a reconstructed one. Yeah, there you go. Some fan art boxes. Man, so much fun. So this one was highly popular all over the world. Very, very influential for bringing something home, because this is the first time that you saw the official release of Defender at home. And I have to say that because we've already played everything. This one is the 29th Defender variant we've seen here on the show. So since Defender came out, we're counting Defender, there's been 29 games that are playing like Defender we've already seen that you could play. And out of those, 4 of them had the word Defender in the title. And including BBC Micro had a home computer version that was called Defender before they changed the name to Planetoid. So everyone was clamoring for Defender. This is the first time it officially came home. Wow. And included in the box is Atari Force, Volume 1, Number 1. And this marks a slight discrepancy because this one most likely came out in June rather than September of 1982. I'm going to be changing the date because when we first saw Berserk come home on the Atari VCS, it was Atari Force Number 2 that was included with the box. This one was the first one to come home before Berserk was, and then of course before Star Raiders that included Atari Force Number 3. So this is the first time you got Atari Force. We're not going to read the entire comic, but I still think this is so cool. Inside of the box, you got a whole comic book along with the game. So great. It's by DC. I mean, look at this. The year is 2005. The future. And you read a whole comic before you play Defender. It's awesome. Blows my mind. All right, let's play some Defender. So the artwork that's on the front of the box, they include in the manual. Very, very nice touch. I want to point out over here on the left, as soon as you open it up, look what they say. Atari Defender is very similar to the Williams coin-operated Defender game. However, you'll find some differences in the gameplay as well as in the graphic images and game controls. For example, the coin-operated Defender game, 2 or more alien landers can kidnap humanoids simultaneously, whereas in the Atari version, landers can abduct only 1 humanoid at a time. In the coin-operated game, you can accidentally kill a humanoid with your own missile fire while attempting a rescue and even lose a life in hyperspace. Such tragedies cannot happen in Atari Defender. Atari humanoids are vulnerable to missile fire, and Universal Spaceship Defender will always emerge from hyperspace intact. Scoring's the same between the coin-op and the home version, except it's 150 points for blasting alien swarmers with your laser missiles. Here it gives you 500 points. The game differences are mostly minor and technical. We feel sure that they will not detract from the fun you will have with this exciting and popular Atari game. You know why that's there? That's there because of Pac-Man, and that's my guess. Because of the Pac-Man release, and it didn't look like the arcade coin-op, they're kind of covering their butt. This is Atari covering their butt. Another subtle hint of what's to come next year in 1983. All right, so rescue the humanoids. That's what we got to do. It shows us our gameplay over here on the right side. Commander of the Universal Spaceship Defender. You've been assigned by Earth Security to rid planet Earth of aliens and rescue humanoids from the landers. Score points for each alien spaceship you destroy with your laser missiles and smart bombs for each humanoid you save. In 1-player games, your object is the highest score. In 2-player, it's the highest score that wins the game. Wait, so it's just the highest score wins the game. Because if you do 2-player, you're going to be alternate play anyway. You begin the game with 3 Defender lives, 3 smart bombs. A number of lives remaining in a game is displayed at the bottom left of the television screen. Smart bombs remaining there too. Each time Defender collides with an alien or hit with an alien, it disintegrates in a whoosh and vanishes. Not as impressive as the arcade version too. So over here we got some great keys to tell us how to play, like, you know, the Defender, Bomber, tells us what everything is. No more using your imagination. Use the manual. It tells you everything. First wave of alien attack when you press the red button and the game reset button to begin. Bombers lay mines to trap you. Baiters are fast pursuit ships that hone in on you. Pods explode when hit, releasing swarmers, the little ones. Yeah, there you go. I used to call them stars whenever I was little. When Defender has destroyed all the aliens in the first wave, another wave of aliens is faster and tougher than before. So does it show us how to use the smart bombs? Red button controls that, start the action. And it does not. It says, yeah, it just shows you where they are for the gameplay. And then it shows up our defenses. There we go. Laser missiles, smart bombs are effective means of mass destruction. One detonation takes care of every alien on the television screen in front of you. To detonate a bomb, move the defender down behind the city and press the red button. So it's all on one button. Very well done. The firing of your lasers is one button, and then the smart bomb. You just have to go down to the city. And then we also have the hyperspace time warp, which you'll be able to see on the screen. And we can use the scanner just like you did in the arcade. Very flickery scanner, but it's still there. Get in the habit of using that to fight the aliens and rescue humanoids. Nice. They did package a lot in. For an Atari VCS game, this is a lot to take in. And it shows you how to rescue the humanoids. After you blow them up, you got to make sure you fly over and rescue them before they hit the ground. And then the scanner is the fastest way to spot a kidnapping. The humanoid will be lifted up toward the top of the scanner if you can see it beyond all the flickering. And it shows you how to save the humanoid. 2 ways to save him. Blow him away, and then the humanoid is represented by a pixel there on the far left side. And then you can pick him up just by flying over it. So cool. If a defender does not succeed in rescuing a humanoid, the lander that abducted him carries them up into space and transforms into a mutant. So no longer mutoids here. They turn into mutants. When all 5 humanoids have been destroyed, whether by mutating or falling, the city blows up and disappears. It shows us how to use our controller, as usual, on the far left side, and then the game difficulty switches and game select switches. There's a lot of different game modes here. And they even have more. Look at this. The scoring, they break it down with cool pictures. And this is the kind of manual I would have wanted to read and check out, showing you what everything is. It's so cool. All the different game variations, we have 11 through, there's 20 different game variations, 1 or 2 player, but you alternate play. And then we even have helpful hints over there with a game select matrix. Awesome. So much to do in Defender. I love it. This one was available in PAL regions as well. CCE also published this unofficially, and then we have a Defender hack and another Defender hack called War of the Worlds. We're going to pop in and play the original Defender, brought to us by Bob Polero and Alan J. Murphy of Atari, and published by Atari at sometime in September 1982. Officially brought over by Williams. I know, the art and packaging is so well done. Well, I could say Demons to Diamonds was but this one is top-notch. All right, let's reset and go. Defender starts off with very similar sound effects. Notice that whenever I fire a shot, the ship is blinking away. Also notice that whenever we move around, how much flickering we have. Yeah, you can barely see the ship whenever he comes on the screen. But even flickering aside, sound effects are excellent. Fly around, destroy all the ships. We can also fly left and right. At this point, the shoot 'em up is, for home consoles, there's not too much out there. There's one really good one we played on the VTech Creative Vision. That was a scrolling shoot 'em up. It was an homage to Defender, but this one is still fresh. This idea to do for a home console is great, and how they were able to get this to play on the Atari VCS is incredible. Oh man, yeah, this actually is a lot of fun. Considering all the other games you could be playing on a home console, this is like a must-have. Being able to play Defender, plus it's a Defender that we saw in the manual. They're taking away some of the difficulty or craziness of the arcade. Oh wait, where'd he go? I just shot shot the last guy that was abducting someone, and then they just disappeared. Wow, yeah, the sound effects is really what makes this one. All right, let's see if we can do a proper rescue. Here we go. Being able to pick up and rescue on a home console, so much fun. Up to this point, the home consoles haven't had as many Defender variants as we saw with home computer releases, or I should just say scrolling shoot 'em ups. There hasn't been that many. I know, yeah, the flickering is pretty bad. Kind of makes you think of Pac-Man too, with the flickering. This one doesn't seem as noticeable. Like when I think of all the titles we played so far on home consoles, this one's feels action-packed. It's still, the flickering doesn't detract as much from the gameplay. Now, when you think of the future, though, I know it's a little difficult to erase everything that we know is going to happen later. You want to look at this and be like, no one would want to play this. But whenever you consider everything you'd be playing right now on a home console, shoot 'em ups aside, this one has the gameplay that keeps you entertained and satisfied for everything that's possible on a home console. It's great. And especially when we consider this was released in June 1982. Yeah, so you can understand the other titles that were available on home consoles, like Chopper Command was another shoot 'em up, and then Vanguard definitely blows this one out of the water. But that one was released just a little bit later than this one. For an official release to come home, you could have expected them to polish this a little bit better, but it's another one of those situations that you took what you got, and because there's not as much out there, I got to commend this as still a very, very good game for a home console. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So much fun. Yeah, that's a very good point. We're taking this and emulating and simulating a CRT television. So what you see here, if you play on an actual CRT television, the experience with the flickering wouldn't be the same. Oh yeah, Vanguard was so good. And you got to admit, also, the game modes are here. We played a few games on the Atari VCS and other home consoles that don't have as many game modes as this. So because they gave you options, also increases the fun. I'm going to say, for all the games so far on a home console, Defender is still top-notch. I wouldn't call this one of the best games you could play on a home console right now, but it's excellent. I'm going to say 4 stars of everything so far. Defender is really, really good. Jimmy's actually going even higher, saying 4.5. Most of them had 4. Yeah. Even lower with Errol saying 3 stars. So what was your experience with this when it was released? Because after playing everything available for everything possible on a home console, Defender still delivers. It's still really, really fun and works well for a shoot 'em up. This kind of experience you wouldn't be having so much on home consoles. If you want to play a lot of really good shoot 'em ups, though, you should go to the home computer right now. That's where the good ones are. Curtis is with me with 4. Punk Rock's even saying one of the best at 4.5. So well done, Defender. I wouldn't mark it as one of the best on home consoles right now, but it's still very, very good. The good ones, the best ones, would be like, Chopper Command or Vanguard. Vanguard's the one you want to check out. All right, so after that, it's time to put our video game playing on pause and play another day. Tune in next episode for an excellent arcade game that was ported to the ColecoVision, which is going to be ported to the Atari. Which means, can't we take that cartridge and put it back into the ColecoVision and play it? And that's it for today, and like I always say, video games make alien abduction and alien invasion fun. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.